I'd like to call this meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick?
Here.
Ms. Karstafen?
Here.
Mr. Bax?
Here.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Here.
And Mrs. Seguin?
Here.
Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and welcome to the March 4th, 2020 board meeting. I'd like to introduce our group up here. To my right is board member Jim Bax. To his right is board member Elaine Sequin. I am Greg Elick. To my left is board member and vice president Annie Karstafen. To her left is our senior board member Michael Gebhardt. To his left is our superintendent Ann Slosh. And to her left is our award-winning treasurer, Joy Clickinger. Okay, moving along on the agenda, we have some very special recognition today. First off, I believe we have somebody from the auditor of the state office.
Yep.
If I can't figure this microphone out.
O-N.
All right. Sounds like it's working now.
I-O? No, sorry.
Hi there. I'm honored to be here tonight on behalf of Auditor of State Keith Faber to present the Elyria City School District with the Auditor's State Award with Distinction. It's important to note that of the almost 6,000 entities that our office audits across the state, less than 4% of them receive this award. So it's a pretty big deal, and it speaks to the commitment of the entire district, from the board to the administration, every teacher, every department pulling together and striving for fiscal excellence. And it also speaks to the leadership and professionalism of Mrs. Clickinger and the hard work that her and her team put in. So on behalf of the auditor, congratulations.
Thank you. While you're here, I would like to... Can you hear me? Okay. While you're here, I would like to call up my staff. I have my assistant, Ann Holton, my payroll, MJ LaFleur, accounts receivable, Pete Bailey, and accounts payable, Jen Kelleher. And I just gave their main subjects. They all can do a heck of a lot more than that. And I got to say that I'm really proud not only to receive this award for the third year in a row, but to stand up here with my staff who are very dedicated and hardworking. And to receive this award not only takes attention to detail, but a lot of persistence sometimes. And we also know we can't do it alone. So I would like to thank all the administration that help us keep intact all of the rules, regulations, procedures, and also the support staff that keep the administration in order, so that it works out well. But we handle just for those in the audience, I know you already know this, but we handle all the finances of the district, which include the day-to-day finances and also other things that come at us. One small thing, the building project that we've got going right now. And as a bit of a side note, we did receive a commendation from not only the House of Representatives, but the Senate. So I'm very proud of that also. And the last thing that I wanted to say was I always want to make sure that everybody is assured that my staff and I are committed to being faithful stewards of all the funds that do pass through our schools. So thank you.
Great, thank
Yeah.
She maintains her title for another year.
you. There you go.
Congratulations.
How about that? We didn't make it.
Guess I got a winning
job,
award.
Jim.
Yeah. Got a little award.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't shake her.
Great, thank you.
Thank
A
you.
wonderful job, Joy, and to your entire staff. I really enjoy when we honor the accountants, and I'm glad to hear the debits equal the credits, so that's
Yeah.
good. Okay, outstanding. All right, moving on. We also have other recognition this evening. Who is going to
I'm going to actually call up Brian Kokai, since he oversees the Performing Arts Center, and he'll carry you through this one.
Okay.
I'm not sure I know how to work it, but I got it right.
It's on.
I'd like to call up J.R. Simons, who will be introducing a student. But before he does that, we actually have a little bit of a surprise recognition, I believe, as well. I'm not texting. I have my notes on my phone, so please forgive me. J.R. was recently given the distinguished title of Director by the State Board of Ohio Thespians in the All Ohio Show. So he will be directing the All Ohio Show. I believe it's called May for Voices. May 4th Voices, sorry. Be formed in March 2020 during the Ohio Thespian State Conference. So congratulations, JR. So on behalf of the board, I think they might want to.
Great, thank you.
Process. We all. So I have a brief and heavily edited statement here.
Great.
So, as was stated, I am the Performing Arts Center manager at the high school. I'm also the technical director for the drama club, but I'm not here to speak on behalf of the drama club, but to talk about one of our troupe members, Jyrone Tucker, who has been working with me on this production. Give you a little bit of background. The Educational Theater Association is a national nonprofit organization with over 100,000 student and professional members, and the Ohio chapter was founded in 1975, hosting its first conference in 1976. Our drama club and troupe has attended nearly every conference since 1983. And the All Ohio Show is a production that invites all member schools from around the state to have students audition for the cast and or interview for technical theater positions on the production. And this year I have been, had the great fortune to be able to be directing the All Ohio Show called May 4th Voices, Kent State 1970. A piece of devised theater using actual words of students, guardsmen, faculty, and townspeople who were in attendance and living in Kent in May of 1970 to present a theatrical interpretation of the day's events and its aftermath. Our production will be performed 3 times on Friday, March 27th, the opening day of the state conference, before a total of 1,800 delegates from all around the state. And I'm here this evening to recognize a member of our drama club and thespian troupe, Jyrone Tucker, for his accomplishment. In having successfully auditioned for the production and having been cast in the company. Jyrone plays a variety of students in the production as well as other characters important to the telling of the tale. And he secured his spot in the company with a stellar audition that placed him among the top 5 students out of 30 who auditioned. In the end, I only cast 23 students who auditioned for the production. We've already spent 2 marathon weekends of rehearsals, and coming up we're going to spend another marathon weekend of rehearsals before the conference. To the best of my knowledge, Jyrone is only the 4th Elyria High School student to be cast in an All Ohio production since the conference began producing them in 1983. And to sort of put Jyrone's accomplishment in perspective, this is the performing arts equivalent of an individual golfer, tennis player, swimmer, track athlete, or wrestler making it to the state finals. Wow. So, if you would all please join me in recognizing Jyrone Tucker and wishing him a broken leg, which in theater parlance means good luck on this production. Great.
Good job the other night. Congratulations.
Break away. Congratulations, Jim. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for the recognition. Congratulations, Jerome, and congratulations, JR. Wonderful. Okay, moving along on the agenda to visitor comments. We do have somebody that signed up a week in advance to speak for up to 15 minutes, and that's Mr. Eric Bowens. Would Mr. Bowens please come forward and state your name and your address for the record? I think it's maybe still
I think you
on.
can use either one, Eric.
Okay.
Either one should work.
Yeah.
Greetings to the school board. My name is Eric Bowens. I reside at 1212 Lake Avenue here in Elyria.
Okay.
And I am here representing the community, some of the community. I have a petition, and I would like to go over it with the school board. It is a bit aggressive, but I think the cause that I'm here for actually is worthwhile. So before I start with the petition, I wanted to read the definition of a good coach. And the definition of a good coach that I have is a good coach is positive, enthusiastic, supportive, trusting, focused, goal-oriented, knowledgeable, observant, respectful, patient, clear communicator, a clear communicator. So here we go with the petition that I drafted and presenting to the school board to be adopted as a resolution. So Elyria boys basketball coach Brett Lyric has been coaching Elyria basketball since 2008-2009 high school basketball season. Throughout this time, Brett Lyric has undoubtedly failed the basketball program and, more importantly, failed the youth in regards to player development and program development. What Coach Lyric has done is completely disappointing in his 12 years as head basketball coach for Elyria High School. Lyric's biased and competent coaching style is leading to the program total destruction and embarrassment. With being ranked 444th in Ohio, Coach Lyric often takes a coachable moment, often is replacing a coachable moment with an embarrassment moment for players being yelled at in front of everyone in the gym, at practice, and even at games. Coach Lyric's communication with parents is also very minimal, and Coach Lyric has been coaching, since Coach Lyric has been coaching, he has only had a few seasons above the 500 mark, only winning 6 conference games 3 years to date. Coach Lyric has finished above the 500 mark only 3 times since 2016-17. The 2020 Pioneers, at this point, lost 8 straight and finished the season 4-18 overall, 1-13 in the conference, put them in last place overall in the conference. Currently, they are obviously still playing in the tournaments, and we support that. I have over 380 signatures from the community. I have some quotes that I would like to read from a few former players. I also actually had a few players sign the petition, and parents, and I whited them out. I did not want them to be brought to the school board or brought to anybody's attention. I didn't think that was fair. So, and I kind of feel off naming some of these names, but they are former alumni players. And I asked a few guys that I know, how do they feel about the petition that I put out? And you have one young man here. He is, and I asked him, could I use their name? Could I bring this up? And they did concur with that. So Devion Williams, he is playing at Saddleback in California. I asked him what he thought about the petition, and he said that, forget Coach Lyric, he's annoying. He doesn't even understand his team. Never did. And he said he's okay as a teacher. Another young man, Will Waddell, Siena Heights, Michigan, he's playing for. He was until his recent injury. He said he went back and forth with Coach Lyric. He said he's a good person, definitely, but coaching-wise, he wasn't for him. He said that he needed to go and get his own recruitment and ended up getting his own way in college. So, but Will was, just came back home off an injury and is working locally. So I won't be much longer. I got a few quotes from the community that did sign a petition. Samantha Foster, she said he does not have players' interests at heart. He doesn't build the players up. He just brings them down. He's not relatable to his players. So that's Ms. Foster. I got a few more. Tavon Kurtz. Now, I coached Tavon in youth football. He read a petition. He commented. I asked everybody, could I use this? And they said, okay. He said, get him out of here. And I said, I'm trying to bring it to the attention. He said, he isn't for the kids. He ruined my high school basketball experience. Tavon just graduated from Lindenwood University with a criminal justice degree. Tavon is a young man that I'm proud of. He's out in the community doing the right thing. So my little background, little history. The old school gym opened in 1955. Dale Rickenbach was coaching. For a fact, the past 3 years have been the worst 3 years in the program's history. Rickenbach, 1961, they had a state basketball appearance, 25 wins straight over Lorraine to start. So Rickenbach was 111-64. So Elyria High has a history of pride of winning. And more so than winning, it's building young men. And that's why I'm here, because I'm not representing me, I'm representing the community. I've been sought to or asked to represent several of these young men. And again, I have several players that have actually signed a petition that's on the team now. And it was 3 seniors, and that's disturbing. So I'm curious to, what are the standards? How do we hold accountable for what's a good coach? And mind you, Brett, my relationship with Brett, I've been knowing Brett since I was probably in 7th grade. Brett is an outstanding basketball player, a legend in Elyria. I respect Brett as a person. I even been able to do some community events with some players in the past. So I've seen the inside. I've seen his coaching staff. A lot of these guys are undeveloped that he's coaching. They're not reaching their full potential. And you can't blame it on a 14 or 17-year-old. You have to figure out what's the root of the problem. So I'm putting this petition, I'm bringing it to the school board, and I want you guys to look over it. Now, it's highly unlikely that Brett will lose his position. I'm not saying that he will or won't, but I definitely have to do my part and raise awareness and present it as I've been asked to do. So that's my time.
Super.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bowens, for your interest in the basketball program and taking the time to share your feelings with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, moving along on the agenda to board member discussion items. Any discussion items by our board members here for today's meeting? With Mr. Gebhardt?
I just wanted to mention about Lester Lynch. I don't know if any of you were there, but he was amazing. It was a great show. The kids that sang with him, I think, were all impressed. I was impressed. He sang music of the night of the Phantom of the Opera and Old Man River, and he really belted them out, both of them.
Good. Wow.
And also, Saturday we went to the basketball game, and afterwards we went to Old Town for pizza, and there was 9 kids that came in from Elyria High. There were 9 boys, and they had no idea who we were, and they sat in the table next to us, and they were very respectful. They were quiet, and it was a pleasure to see that.
Good. That's outstanding. Thanks for sharing that.
I just want to say that on, not this Sunday, but last Sunday, LaCapsie had our awards, and our superintendent was there to represent on the stage. And we had students from Elyria City Schools who received their awards for their accomplishment, and it was a very, very a proud moment for us, for the city of Elyria. Yes.
Oh, that's great. Great. Thanks for sharing. Any other items
For the
here?
school district, not the city of Elyria, the school district.
Both. Yeah, I want to acknowledge Christopher Lash, who's the band director at Westwood. And my kids were in the musical, but I was so impressed with what he did. It was the first year they had a musical, and to my understanding, or it's been a long time. And he was supposed to have a couple different helpers, but he wound up doing it himself. I mean, those kids, but I'm more acknowledging him for the fact he was there every night after school till 4:30, 5 o'clock with them. I think he probably wound up having to, put some of his own money into the program, the performance. It was just so, it was really good. I don't know if anyone
Great.
saw it. But
Super.
I did not expect it to be that good.
Wow. Great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Any other items from the board? Okay. Great. No, Jim will hold you off for a little bit. All right, moving along on the agenda, the minutes from the February 19th, 2020 meeting have been posted. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Karstoffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Okay, moving along, Treasurer action items. Madam Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I only have a couple items this evening, the first one being donations. And I'm asking the board to acknowledge, express appreciation, and accept the gifts as listed in the agenda. And my second item is to approve the list of purchase orders.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Treasurer action items?
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Board Member Bax. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Any other reports this evening, Madam Treasurer?
No, thank you.
Okay, moving along on the agenda. I don't believe we have anything on the OFCC OSFC Sports Complex, so it looks like we're to Superintendent action items. Madam Superintendent.
Thank you. First of all, move to approve the overnight field trip for Ely Elementary to Mohican. Also to approve the overnight field trip for Elyria High School Student Council to the Leadership Conference. To approve the overnight field trip for Elyria High students to the Cleveland Aquarium. To approve the following stipends as listed below. And that concludes my action items.
Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent action items?
So moved.
A motion by Board Member Sequin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Karstoffen. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Any superintendent other report, Madam Superintendent?
No, but I do have some personnel action items.
Okay, proceed.
So first of all, to approve the retirement of the following certified staff. Kim Johnson, who has 31 years in all at
Oh, wow.
Northwood.
Wow.
Also, Diane Price, who has 32 years, and she has been at 9 different buildings for us. So those are two very, very awesome Elyria teachers, and we hate to see them go, but wish them well on their next endeavor. Also, to approve the appointment of the following certified staff. We finally found a long-term sub-math teacher at the high school, so that wasn't easy to find. And then to approve the supplemental contracts of the following staff, certified and non-district staff. To approve the athletic supplemental contracts of the following staff. To approve the following OHSAA tournament game workers. To approve the resignation of the following classified administrative staff member. To approve the appointment of the following classified staff. To approve the one-year limited contract for the following classified staff. To approve the unpaid leave of absence for the following classified staff, and that concludes my personnel action items.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the personnel action items as recommended by the superintendent?
I will make the motion.
I have a motion by Board Member Gebhardt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Karstoffen. Any questions or comments? If none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Okay, moving along on the agenda. Madam Superintendent, do you have a report for us this evening?
Just again want to echo the Lester Lynch visitation. We've got so much positive press with that, and I will tell you, when the TV stations came in, they just couldn't believe not only that Lester was an alumni and coming back to the district, but how awesome our students were, and how much they respected him. And I went to school with him at Prospect, so he actually remembered my face, so I was excited. Hey, someone famous knows me. Also would like to wish the choir good luck this weekend. It's the OMEA contest that's going to be held at Elyria High School, so we hope one's all around. The state robotics team, we have 10 teams going to the state tournament this year.
right, great.
5 middle school, 5 elementary. Also, again, wanted to echo how wonderful the musical, and I think it is the first musical. I think they've done plays, Miss Seguin, but Chris did a wonderful job with the kids this year. Also, come out tomorrow night at EC. The basketball team is playing. I believe it's Lakewood. So it's 7 o'clock at EC. The wrestlers are in Perrysburg on the week this coming weekend for I believe it's regionals Yes, regionals. And then also yesterday, a wonderful experience with our MI classes over at Windsor. I went to the 60s diner and had a walking taco and Jell-O, and they were wonderful, should I say, groovy servers. They were in the tie-dye. There was a nice picture in the paper today, but just so many wonderful things going on in our district, and it's a great time to be a pioneer.
Great.
So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Madam Superintendent. Moving along on the agenda, Board of Education. There are no Board of Education business items, so we'll move along to executive session. And I would like to request a motion for an executive session for the purpose of preparing for negotiations with public employees, to consider dismissal of a public employer official, consider the purchase of property for public purposes or sale of property for competitive bidding in matters required to be kept confidential by federal law or regulations of state statutes, with possible action to follow as authorized under Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22.
So moved.
Motion by Board Member Karstoffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Bax. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Seguin?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries, and we are into executive session.
Thank you.
I believe